Welcome to Thunder Insider.
Hello and welcome inside our Oklahoman studio for another edition of Thunder Insider presented by Integris Health. I'm Kelly Kroll, your host, and alongside me in studio today, the radio voice of Thunder basketball, Matt Pinto, and 15-year NBA veteran Grant Long. What a productive week for the Thunder basketball team. Really just stacking up those wins and doing some great things out there. What do you like from the guys?
Well, recently opposing teams are struggling to score 90 points and struggling to shoot 40% from the floor, which is showing outstanding continuity developing on the defensive end of the floor. This team getting razor sharp for the final 15 of the regular season now.
Well, I'm going to go as recent as last night's game against the Miami Heat. 4-game winning streak going into that game. It would have been very easy to lose focus and think I'll go in and try to win this ball game myself, but I was impressed with their veteran approach. They were very focused, went out and played as a team, distributed the basketball, 20-plus assists. That's a recipe for a success for this team.
And what an atmosphere in Miami. They jump out to a lead and really never look back. Even though Miami makes a big push there before the first half, they come out in the second half and once again back to their brand of basketball. They didn't change anything.
The Thunder controlled this game. They really did. They controlled the game from start to finish. They were able to generate some fast break points early. That Maynard three late in the first half, Grant, I thought was huge. It stemmed the Heat run and had the Thunder go into the locker room and lead at halftime.
That coupled with the fact that I believe they remained very poised when the Miami Heat made their run before halftime. This group remained poised. They ran their offense in the second half. You see Nick Collison taking the charge right there. They did not get rattled, and that's a very good sign from this young ball club. Very veteran approach to me.
And you see a number of three balls going down, guys, and that's becoming a bigger weapon offensively for this team. They have a string now of 15 straight games, making at least 6 threes a night. That stretches the defense out, makes this team more lethal.
It was a big win, definitely on the road. They win all three. Back at home, it was a big week for Oklahoma City as Kendrick Perkins made his much-anticipated debut in the Thunder Blue uniform. The first appearance coming in Washington, where Perkins made an immediate impact, grabbing 9 boards and 6 points in 20 minutes of action. While Perkins said he's still shaking off the rust a bit, there's no question the big guy's presence on the floor is certainly being felt.
I try to talk as little as possible. I just try to lead by example. The way I was taught, just brought up under those guys from Boston. I think you just guys have more respect for you if you just lead by example more than talking all the time. I say little bits and pieces here and there, but I just try to stay focused, try to stay locked in, and try to teach guys how to do it the right way.
Nice, soft, floating touch. Perkins set up by Durant.
Some guys have been together for just a few weeks now, so it's my second game back, so it's getting there. I think it's not hard for me to fit in, just doing my role and stuff like that. We got a great group of guys who love to work, who want to get better, and they pretty talented guys. So, once we put it all together, we'll be good.
Certainly adding some confidence, a little bit of swagger to this team, but I thought it was funny. He said, I don't talk much. I'll tell you where he does talk a lot, the defensive end of the court. He is loud and he is orchestrating those guys, telling them where to go. I loved it.
Well, Kevin Garnett did the same with him in Boston, and he wears Kevin's number now, number 5, Grant. I think that a lot of what Garnett has been about as an NBA player has rubbed off on Perk, and that's been a nice, welcome addition to this team off the floor. Now we see him on the floor.
Well, I've been impressed with how well he's fit in with this front line group. Nick Collison, Serge Ibaka, Nazr Muhammad, they seem to work well together. And although Perk has only played in 2 games, I think there's something there for these guys to continue to work with.
What else did you see from him? And really, it's only been a couple ball games, but it's more than just his defensive presence. Just having him on the floor, to me, seems like even in Miami, just the fact that his presence, he was there, made a difference.
Well, it seals the lane. It doesn't allow opposing teams the glimmer of being able to drive inside without a shot being contested or a shot rejected. And when Serge Ibaka plays alongside he and Nazr Muhammad, Grant, he can roam a little bit, and as a second defender, he can come over and really make a difference and an impact. We're seeing that.
And that's huge, and I won't minimize the fact that you brought it up, Kelly, that he communicates very well on the defensive end. You talk about defense, winning ball games and winning championships. You've got to be able to communicate and understand what you're supposed to do on your assignments, and communicating that is the best way to make it happen.
No question, really, all of the bigs chipping in right now. Nick Collison, a guy we know for taking charges and doing all the little things, but lately we've seen a spark in Nick's offense with the ball movement picking up. Nick has produced 4 double-digit scoring nights in the month of March.
Collison with the loose ball, spinning in the paint, leans in and hits a baby 5-foot hook over Brand. Nick Collison playing brilliantly.
Nick was a scorer in college, and he can score. We don't need it night in, night out, because he just does so many things that we kind of lose the fact that he does. He knows how to play. He's a smart, cerebral player, and that he plays hard, and he leaves everything on the floor, but he makes shots.
Boy, Nick Collison is playing with an extreme level of confidence.
Our guys do a good job looking for him also.
Westbrook feeding Collison on a gorgeous screen and roll.
When he does set good screens, the big has to help, and Kevin and our shooters have to continue to look for him because it loosens up the defense. But Nick is he's a solid player for us.
Top of the key, Collison, splash.
That's nice. That's real nice.
He's getting shots in rhythm and flow. I think we're doing a much better job of passing the ball.
Durant, top of the arc, sets up a bucket to Collison. Waiting for the traffic to clear, he scores.
Guys are starting to believe in trusting the pass, and we're making extra passes for good shots.
He has tremendous form on his jumper, and I know his teammates have trust in him. I like seeing him take that mid-range shot. Granted, it extends the opportunities for players around him because it forces defenses to play him honest, but his high post passing recently has been featured as this team has begun spacing the floor better. He's a really skilled player.
He is. He's a very fundamentally sound player. You talk about those baseline passes he makes with James Harden, but I think what Nick is bringing to the ball game right now, his ability to knock down that 15-foot jump shot really stretches the defense, and now all of a sudden you become less predictable. You can't leave Nick Collison to go double team anybody because he's shown his effectiveness by making that jump shot.
Well, I was giving him a hard time the other day, and I said, do you feel like you're back in college? Because really, Nick Collison was a scorer for Kansas, and now he's really starting to bring the same thing and the same aggressiveness. He says he's feeling very confident right now with the Thunder.
Ahead on Thunder Insider.
I'm a heck of a 5-minute coach. I can coach for 5 minutes.
And later,
the 1-inch vertical leap that he had, I'm pretty sure that I don't think he needs to do that anymore.
welcome back to Thunder Insider.
Pulls up, fires an 8-footer, no good. Rebound Durant, basket hanging is Westbrook. Russell gets 2 steps and then throws down a ferocious windmill, crowd-wowing, jaw-dropping slam dunk.
Probably one of the best I've seen this year.
Did you know he could do that?
I knew he can do it. He practiced it all the time after practice. So I didn't think he would have, he would have a man enough to do it in the game. But it was a good highlight for us.
Well, he was man enough to do it, and it certainly sent some oohs and ahs through the crowd.
I tell you what, I think that man enough comment got under Russell's skin just a little bit because he came back on Sunday afternoon against Cleveland and dunked in the face of 3 Cavaliers defenders.
Hey, a terrific display of bunnies, by the way. Those are hops by Russell Westbrook.
Well, joining us now, play-by-play man for the Thunder, Brian Davis. And speaking of owning the neighborhood, as you put it earlier, Serge Ibaka. How about 7 blocks against Cleveland, and then he tied a career high with 8 in Washington and 3 key swats in Miami. Do you guys think this is a byproduct of the new big surrounding Serge?
Hey, Serge Ibaka had a block party and I didn't get invited. Somebody didn't tell me about it, but this guy has been playing above the rim, not only on the offensive end, but the fact that he's coming over from the help side position, he's developed a keen sense when that offensive player turns his back, Serge makes his move to come over and block the shot. And again, that is something where he's learned to read the defense or read the offensive player and what he's getting ready to do, and I think that's a huge step for a shot blocker.
And having Kendrick Perkins now playing the 5 really helps him because Perkins is standing up the offensive player in the low post, and Serge is able to work off the weak side, which is where that's prime territory for blocking shots.
Absolutely, and those guys are so big in that low post, Muhammad and Perkins. It allows Serge Ibaka to come over unannounced and block a shot.
Well, a number of guys really playing their roles exactly as you would hope right now during the season. 2 guys specifically, Daquan Cook and Kevin Durant, just lights out from long range against Washington this past week. Then the trend continued in Miami as the 2 combined for 16 of 22, almost 75% from behind the arc for those guys.
Well, Durant on the road trip shot 63%. In the month of March from 3, he's hitting 52%. Daquan Cook is a guy that Scott Brooks loves playing him in a 10-man rotation because he doesn't have to give him many minutes. He says, I know whatever I give him, he's going to come in and hit a couple for me.
And you know what? It's almost like 1 or 2 3-point shots from Daquan Cook is always good enough. And I think Kevin Durant now is getting into the act. If you notice, Daquan Cook, when he gets a shot, he's stepping right into a 3-point shot. It's not that he has to dribble. He doesn't come off of a screen. It's penetration. Find him on the perimeter. Kevin Durant is in that same mode now. He's stepping into 3-point shots. The defense somehow is going away from him. And offensively, they're looking for Kevin, and he's open.
A rising tide lifts all boats.
Well, there you go. Very good observations. You can tell. It's just they make it look so easy almost. Well, we know these guys love to play, and sometimes regulation just isn't enough. 2 overtime games for the Thunder this last week, and 2 more wins for the good guys. Not unusual, really, as the Thunder post a 7-1 record in overtime games. Credit due in a number of areas, but how about we start with the coaching staff and the adjustments they're making?
And then Gortat is forced into a tough shot.
I'm a heck of a 5-minute coach. I can coach for 5 minutes.
The last 5 minutes of the game is the toughest because at that point it's like playoff time. Every possession counts.
There's the blitz and the turnover.
We played well in overtime. We've got lucky in overtime. And we won some games, a lot of games in overtime. But
Another 3 for the tie. This one right between the eyes.
not something you go into, but I thinking, okay, I hope we get an overtime game because our winning percentage is pretty high. We were lucky to get it into overtime in Philly.
Crossover by Westbrook, and he scores.
I thought once we got it to overtime, we had a good chance to win the game.
Durant driving baseline, scores.
Down 5 with maybe 49 seconds to go against Philly. You know, we come back, tie the game up.
KD spinning 4-3, get it!
Momentum kind of shifted. They had it early, we got it, they got it back, and then we got it at the end.
It just shows how fast and how much we're maturing as a team, you know, and that we don't lose our minds, you know, when we're down 5. We don't lose our heads. We never give up.
2 offensive rebounds in this sequence.
But it's close games are fun for the players. They like it. We have players that love big moments.
Durant, top of the key, rattles it home.
If you look at the way the Thunder's overtime games have played, yes, they continue to defend very well, but the other thing is they score in a hurry to make it a 2-possession game and really put the other guy behind the 8 ball.
And that's key in overtime. You have to score the basketball, and what a great complement of players that Scott Brooks has. You've got a closer in Kevin Durant, you've got a guy that can drive the ball hard in Westbrook and get to the basket. And you know what? I'm not opposed to anybody other than Kevin taking a game-winning shot because this team has come such a long way that it doesn't have to be Kevin in the ball game. Most times it is, but Russell Westbrook, I'm not, terribly upset if he takes the last shot of a game. Daquan Cook, if he's in the ball game and they need a 3, I'm throwing him the basketball. He's the guy who can make shots.
And we were just looking at all the images of James Harden, who all of a sudden now, because of his game at both ends of the floor, Harden is being left in the 5 in game situations, end game situations in regulation and overtime.
Well, if it's an open shot and a good look at the basket, I think it should go to whoever that person is that's taking that shot. So very confident and maturing, as Daquan Cook said, in these overtime wins, and they've been doing a really good job as of late.
Ahead on Thunder Insider.
Milk, make sure you get some cereal. Definitely always good to go out and give back and go shopping. Just talk about school and what they do in their everyday life and what they like to do.
Welcome back to Thunder Insider.
Welcome back. When you hear the 66ers talk, oftentimes they echo many of the same ideals as the Thunder. With the best record in the D-League's Western Conference, Tulsa is proving they not only talk the talk, but can walk the walk.
We just catching on to each other, know how each other move and stuff like that. So coming out here, playing hard and getting wins.
It all comes down to team defense. You got to be able to win is team defense.
Our whole team can be a starting 5. Everybody on our team can play and score. So, when we lose a couple of players, it's like we ain't losing nothing.
The success comes down to coaches, the coaching staff, and everybody buys into what they're teaching.
They have a choice when they get here, but when a majority of the team buys in to what we're doing, you kind of stick out when you don't buy in.
Coach Nate, he challenged players. If you can take it, then it's good for you. If you can't, then you got to suck it up, and he just try to make you better.
One thing Coach Oz and Coach Bird and I try to pride ourselves on is sweat equity.
Stay low, open up.
We always talk about our players, getting in there and working with them, getting in the trenches and just go to work. And, we want to sweat every day along with these guys. And I think our guys have bought into that. it's something that we'll kind of carry wherever I go in the future is not to be afraid to sweat in these practices and help these guys get better.
1, 2, 3.
Very similar ideals and very similar results. Well, for the past 2 years, the Thunder and Homeland have teamed up to help area families in need. Russell Westbrook, the latest Thunder player to hit up the aisles and turn grocery shopping into quite a memorable experience.
What's up? How you doing?
Homeland and Thunder have teamed up again, picked a local family through a charity, and Russell Westbrook is taking them on a shopping spree around our store.
All right, we're going this way. Come on. We're going to start down here.
Today they're going to be buying $500 worth of food to fill their pantry.
Okay, how old are you? How old are you? Twins. I already knew that. I seen it already when I walked in.
You know, sometimes we take for granted to walk into a grocery store and get a gallon of milk and things like that. And for someone to just open up their arms and allow them to go and get food.
Right here, Texas Giant.
$500 worth of groceries, it's going to go a long way for them. And it's going to help them in all different areas.
Here you go. You want some apples? I did a little shopping with a family. It was fun. Set of twins and good experience. Yeah, I got them. You got orange juice, got 2 juices, milk, make sure you get some cereal. Definitely always good to go out and give back and go shopping and just talk about school and you know, what they do in their everyday life and you know, what they like to do. I ain't got no dog, so what's the name of your dog? Rocky? Man, a lot, especially, you know, I'm by myself most of the time, so it's always good to go out and get to shop with, you know, with other people. What you doing? Looking for some more dog food? I know that they're very thankful for what they received today, and it's a caring family. Oh, we have another surprise for you. So it's another $500 on this to go shopping again. So whenever you use it, just you better use it again. There you go. You're welcome. So you guys, you better go. Y'all can do that shopping spree again.
It's a very good opportunity. I'm very blessed to be able to come to Homeland and they do things like this for people like me.
Now take care now. All right. You're welcome.
Ahead on Thunder Insider.
Well, Steely is one of the worst disruptive people that I ever seen in my life. I mean, my 5-year-olds are doing way better than him.
The Thunder could really use a basket to get him back on the high side. Westbrook finds Durant curling off a great screen by Nick Collison. KD jump stops, elevates. The shot's up. Collison rolling to the basket.
Welcome back to Thunder Insider.
Welcome back, Thunder fans. Well, this week, over 100 area kids dedicated their spring break to working on their hoop skills. The Thunder hosted its first ever spring break youth camp, and naturally, we sent our resident big kid to check out the scene and join in on the fun.
Hey,
Mike,
man.
how you doing?
Good, good. I hear this is the place to be. I'm looking for some basketball skills.
You've come to the best place. We're at the Thunder Youth Basketball Camp. We're going to work on some basics.
Okay.
Let me take you over to this group over here. We'll work with the 5- and 6-year-olds to start out with.
5- and 6-year-olds. That's my level right there. Let's go! What's up, big man?
You're going to be too.
I'm going to be what?
Too slow.
Why do I look slow?
I don't know. Because you are.
Are you messing with my players?
Yeah, I'm sorry.
Leave that alone. I mean, get in line to do what you got to do. If you want me to do something, let's get in line, guys. Well, Steely is one of the worst disruptive people that I ever seen in my life. I mean, my 5-year-olds are doing way better than him. See what you got. Come on down here. Let's get it down there. Get it down there. Get us. Let's put it in the chair. In the chair. In the chair for 5. In the chair.
On a scale of 1 to 10, Steely's basketball level, I would have to say, is just below a 0.
Oh, yeah. Oh, here you go. Here you go. Here you go. Oh, yeah.
Duh, winning. All?
It's all about having fun.
Okay, so forget winning. Okay, I got you.
You ready to switch to another group or something because you're bothering my kids over here.
Okay, I'm this group?
Yeah, go ahead and come over here and let's put you in this line because you're messing with my kids and I don't need that. So we can
do
see.
a dunk contest. I can win this.
You can't win it right now. The kids are too little. You're too big for that.
That's why I want to win.
Oh, come on, guy. Hey, guys, listen up. Do you want to see Steely do a 360 dunk?
360? Really? Yeah! That's like when Kramer promised that Paul O'Neill would hit 2 home runs in that Yankees game.
360! 360! The 1-inch vertical leap that he had, I mean, I'm pretty sure that I don't think he needs to do that anymore. I mean, to pick up a basketball again, I don't think he should do it. It's a dangerous thing.
Hospital, hospital, hospital.
Well, at least he won the relay race because that dunk was awful.
When he was doing the cone drill, were those kids screaming in joy for him or out of fear that he was running at them?
All I'll say is I hope his medical insurance is paid up because if he does that 1 or 2 more times, he's going to land flat on his back.
Well, guys, it's the basketball show. Best week of the year, in my opinion. I have to ask, have you filled out your brackets?
I might as well set fire to the money that I would spend on a bracket, so I'm just going to put a little extra in the collection plate on Sunday. I just don't
That's
do
fair.
it.
Well, my alma mater is not in Eastern Michigan, so I could care less who wins. I'll just draw names out of a hat. I could care less at this point.
Well, I'm looking forward to it. And the upcoming Thunder schedule, of course. Thanks again for joining us here at our Oklahoman studio for another edition of Thunder Insider presented by Integris Health. We'll see you again next week with more on Thunder basketball.